Buongiorno and welcome to Rauta's Italian black metal review. This band is called Argesh with its debut album Excommunica. This one features some 30 minutes of black metal music, and for some reason it took more than 10 years for the band to pull it off, whatever. Anyway, this is the digipack release, which is supposed to be out around mid-September. And it's a glossy digipack release with 30 minutes of fast tempo melodic black metal, which seems to have something in common with bands such as Emperor, Dimmu Borgir, even Dissection comes to my mind here and there. But it's not really that simple because, this is kind of a modern version of what could have happened in the 90s. Also, this is one of those albums where more is more, but is more necessarily better? That is a tricky question, and I'm sure that the answer depends whether you're asking Yngwie J. Malmsteen or just some more raw or more primitive end of black metal people, band, or whatsoever. This is how it looks like. Very simple, very kind of okay design. Nothing more to say about that. So let's head for band's Metal Archive site while I'll tell you a little bit of this music. Now, the band describes their style as apostate black metal. What the hell it means, because this is the first time I hear that kind of description. I'm gonna make guesses. Maybe the band will indeed explain it with their interviews. But here is the track list. 6 songs and 30 minutes. Like I said, this is a combination of different styles and not necessarily so weird or also groundbreaking, but it's also kind of an interesting combination. Both good and bad, mind you. Now the thing here is, basically this is melodic black metal, mostly in fast tempo. And that is where you get some of these, say, dissection-like ideas. It's not as catchy as that, but it sometimes has these melodies which are a little bit like dissection and speed. Really fast tempo parts and not necessarily good for the songwriting, but that is of course up for debate and a matter of taste. Where this reminds me of something like mid-level Emperor is that there is a lot of layers which seem to be sometimes overlapping too much with each other. I mean, sometimes the guitars are trying to push these melodic ideas forward, then you have clean vocals, you have growler parts, and you have these kind of a screamier vocals, and things are happening at the same time, almost like too much. I'm not saying it's exactly chaotic, but it's definitely going too many places at the same time. That is only one step away from being too chaotic. Then also becomes these Dimmu Borgir kind of ideas where you have these keyboards or effect layers where just guitars, bass and vocals are not enough, especially when you have this drummer doing the kind of idea that it's going to different places. So at the same time it tries to be very majestic as well as melodic and having different kind of vocals to just cater it for everybody, which in my opinion seems like an impossible task to do. Now, technically speaking, also production-wise, I could say Excommunica is pretty well done. That is, those clean vocals are nice, they sound good. Also those very screamy, high-pitchy ones, they sound good. The growlier parts are not so much needed in my opinion. It's more like a seasoning you don't really need. Very mediocre growler vocals, but I guess for black metal audience, that is, people who don't really like death metal ones, might be like, hey, these are good. But compared to so many pure death metal ones, they sound a little bit weakish. Not bad, but not really good either. Now, the production is very much like modern days version of what this band could have been if they were like in the 90s. And I, of course, by Emperor and Dissection and Dimmu Borgir really mean than what happened in the 90s. I'm saying that if these bands, were recording a new album in 2020 or so, they might have something in common with this, because this is almost like overproduced. Like the drums are lacking to something like organic, living factor, human factor, if you will. It's not like they sound like a machine, but not too far away from that. And the rest of that stuff is just pretty powerful and all, but maybe even too clean to certain kind of a black metal audience who are definitely looking for more raw, more, say, human or even inhuman sound, kind of a cavernous or whatever. So this is kind of like too clean and too powerful for some. But then again, people who are into, say, Timo Borger's latest ventures, they might find this one interesting. However, where this also lacks a little bit of skill in my opinion is that the songwriting ain't that catchy. I mean, while these melodies are pretty easy to go with and even sometimes very enjoyable, the overall feeling is much like work in progress. It's as if this was a demo version of something really cool to happen. Now it's just more like a decent release, but not in fact very good one. So not a bad one, not a good one, but definitely somewhere between pure mediocrity and something that is actually good. So kind of mixed opinion about it. So many good things here, but so many things that don't really fit. Maybe it's just too much happening with too many layers and things are too much all over the place. But obviously, I'm sure that there is audience for this kind of steroid black metal, if you will. And for that kind of people, this might be really, really interesting. At least it doesn't really sound like so many other bands out there, so that's kind of a positive thing. Anyway, here it says September 14th is the official release date, so give it a go. You should be able to find links providing the music, so give it a go, and I hope you enjoy it. Take care. Bye-bye.